To plan or not to plan? That is the question. In this video, I'm going to talk about whether you should plan your trips or not. When we first started full-timing, we did exactly that. I planned to the nth degree. I planned everything out in detail, and it meant that we were running on the clock all the time. Always had to be in a certain place on a certain day, even sometimes at a certain time. Deposits were paid in advance and all this sort of stuff. So, but that seemed normal. I'd been doing that all my life, all my working life. Everything was planned, everything was, worked out in detail. So it felt normal. It took a little while before I realised that this was an extra stress that it didn't really need, and did I really need to plan to that degree? So I backed off the planning a little bit. We only planned 1 or 2 journeys in advance, or 1 or 2 stops in advance, maybe only 1 stop. It gave us a little bit more flexibility, enabled us to stay longer somewhere that we really liked and loved, or move on because we didn't like the neighbours, or we didn't like the neighbours, or the weather was just crap, and whatever. So we had a bit more flexibility. When we upgraded from our 7-metre European motorhome up to our 11-metre RV that we're in now, I went back to that fine degree of planning, because I thought, a lot of places not going to be able to take us, so I had to ring in advance, make sure they could handle us, pay deposits, stuff like that. And in fact, during that first year, I lost quite a lot of money in deposits, because we just never made it to places, because we got into the habit of staying longer where we liked and things like that, and it kind of didn't work terribly well. So in this last year, I did no planning at all. None at all. I only as in plan where we were going next, our next stop, but not even really planning, just sort of identify where it is, find it on the map, find it in the sat nav, and set up the sat nav, and off we drive. Taking a chance, doing tiny bit of research to make sure that it's not a site that we can't get on, or it's down some stupid road that we don't really want to drive down. But no planning at all, and we stop as long as we want somewhere, we move on as often as we want. And do I find a lot of trouble finding places to stop to? No, it's an enormous beast, and most places we can get into. There's been a few where you can't, and I've identified that before we've even gone there, so it's been fine. Everywhere we've gone, we've got into. Sometimes it's a tight squeeze. That's okay. I'm getting better at driving this, and other times it's a breeze. Like where we are now is just a massive car park, plenty of room. In reality, the only plan that I actually have is I booked the ferry going back to England to go and get the MOT done. Other than that, there's no plans. We just go where we want to do what we want to do, and do you know what? It's better. So should you plan? No, don't do that. Don't plan. Just go with the flow. Go with what you want to do at the time you want to do it, because plans change, and there's no point setting you're being on a clock, you're driving you've got to be there by a certain time, a certain day, and it means you're driving further and longer than you might want to. So no, don't plan. It's better not to plan. It's more fun not to plan, and just make it up as you go along. And if people that are worried about getting into places, if you don't book it in advance, if they're that full, we'll go somewhere else. But I usually find, particularly in Spain, most campsites will find a way of squeezing you in somehow. They're pretty good. In fact, I don't think actually I haven't found a site that we've turned up to and we've been turned away because they're full. Not once. It seems to just doesn't happen. I'm sure it does happen. I'm sure there are some places, but they're not places that we've gone to, so there can't be that many of them. So, do you plan? No, we don't. It's up to you. Some people are more comfortable with planning and that sort of thing. I'm not. Let us know in the comments below if you plan and if you do, what sites do you use to plan? Where do you look them up? I mean, we have we use Camper Contact and Search for Sites. There are a couple of really good things that sites that we use to look ahead at where we might want to stop next. What do you use? Maybe you know of a better one. Let us know in the comments below. Also, while you're down there, don't forget to click the subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and ding the little bell so that you get a notification when I upload my next video. Thanks for watching. See you next time.